So symptoms like leaking and heaviness are a sign that pressure in the core canister isn't being managed well. And as I said, one of the ways that we manage that pressure is by our breath. So as you inhale, your abdominal wall expands. Ideally, your pelvic floor is going to relax. And then as you exhale, everything kind of pulls up and in. But sometimes it really doesn't work that way. Sometimes taking those deep belly breaths can actually cause symptoms. There's a lot of fine tuning here that we need to talk about. And when things like prolapse happen, it can be really common to kind of get out of touch with this core canister and end up breathing really shallow into your chest and not allowing for movement of those abdominal wall structures and muscles, and also the pelvic floor as well. So it's more than just having weakness in your pelvic floor. There's also an element of tightness, and then looking at what's going on in the muscles in between the diaphragm and the pelvic floor as well. So when pressure isn't managed well, one thing to look at are your breathing tendencies. So I mentioned it before. Are you breath holding? When you are experiencing increased symptoms, are you noticing that you are holding your breath often, or you are bearing down with your exhale? So remember, exhale is supposed to move that pressure up and out. We're going to talk more about that a little bit later. But if you're bearing down during the exhale, what that actually means is you're moving the pressure down instead of up. And there are really easy ways to fix that. I am actually a former bearer downer on exhale. So for a while there, I had to focus on like not thinking about anything during my breathing and just going with the flow. So that's another thing. Instead of being super fine-tuned and focused on that, maybe we need to let it go. So then, are you taking short chest breaths? Like I said earlier, are we allowing for that expansion and the contraction of the belly, not only the belly, but the pelvic floor, and taking like those short, sharp chest breaths, being really chesty breather, can actually not allow for that natural movement? Or are you taking big, deep belly breaths? Like I mentioned with the bearing down with exhale. Sometimes those big, deep belly breaths actually create more pressure on the pelvic floor. So we need to see what your tendencies are like, because there really is no one right way. It's noticing where you often lie in this spectrum, and then introducing variety and looking at what works for you.